question? Okay, you can start.
Hey. Hi, Andrea. Welcome to the Duale Schule. My name is Marta Iniga, and I am 14 years old. I am 10. I am a 10th grade student from the Duale Schule, a German school in Guayaquil. It's a pleasure to meet you. These are my partners, Naomi Arias, Justin Quiroz, Patrick Campos, and Josué Martillo.
Hello, nice to
So,
meet you too.
how are you? How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling great. I'm preparing to go to Ecuador this week, so I've just been packing, and I was like, oh my god, I need to run to my computer. It's about to start, but yeah, I've been packing, planning what we're gonna do next week in Ecuador. So yeah, that's me. How about
Oh
you?
my god, that's so good. This interview is a part of a project based on learning that's name is Game Changers. We chose you because we know about your business and your brand. We believe you're a game changer.
That's
So,
awesome. Thank you very much.
now let's continue with the questions.
Hmm.
Hello, Andrea. I'm Justin. So I'm going to ask you some questions. So the first one is, what inspired you to open your coffee shop?
Okay, that's a bit of a long answer there, but I was working here in New York. I went to school here, university. And then in my last year of uni, I started working at a coffee shop because I needed to make money. I had a scholarship from the government. So it was a full scholarship that paid for my education, but the amount of money they gave me to cover my food and living expenses wasn't enough. So I had jobs. So I worked in the library. I had different jobs in the school, and then I got this job outside of the school at a coffee shop. And it was an Australian coffee shop. I knew nothing about it, and I knew nothing about coffee, and they hired me, which was surprising. I guess it's because of my good attitude. um, and yeah, while I was there, I learned this very different coffee shop scene that I had never seen before in Ecuador, right? So it was a bunch of young people like me serving, very relaxed, you in jeans, a t-shirt, just very vibrant and happy to be there. The food was amazing, so it was very fresh food. So you could everything was made to order immediately. Nothing was like in plastic wrapped or in foil and then just like put in the microwave. So I was like, wow, this does not exist in Ecuador. Like this is a whole new concept of coffee shop that doesn't exist in the country. This is back in 2016, right? Well, it was 2015, then 2014 actually. It was then when I was in that coffee shop, and I was like, Ecuador, the best coffee shops in Ecuador right now are all to go, still living that life of everything was quick. You're very young, you might not remember this, or you might not know this, but in like the 2010s and early 2000s, the world became very fast paced, and everything was about getting things done quickly, faster, make more money, work hard, hustle, right? So everything, all the shops and all the businesses around this time of life were okay, fast food, right? Get things quickly, eat and go. Everything was to go. So the concept of the coffee shops in Ecuador at that moment were kind of the same. Go in and out, everything was to go, everything was plastic, everything was to be thrown in the trash. So in New York in 2014, there was this huge shift because Australian coffee shops came in the scene, where it was more about slow living. So if you guys don't know about this, Australia has a massive breakfast brunch industry, hospitality industry, where people have very different lives to the US. So they wake up and they go to the beach. If they live in Sydney, in the morning, everyone exercises. It's amazing. Like you wake up at 7 in the morning, every single person you see around you is wearing exercise gear before going to work, everyone has a coffee. So that sort of vibe of the slow living came to New York with a bunch of young people who were like, there's nothing like this in New York. There's no coffee shops like this, like Australian ones in New York. Let's do them. So I happened to work in one of the main ones that started this boom of coffee culture in New York City. There were like two main ones, Blue Bottle and Two Hands. And yeah, Blue Stone Lane, sorry, not Blue Bottle, and in two hands. And well, I started working there, and I was like, okay, this is amazing. This doesn't exist in Ecuador or in Latin America. I haven't seen it. I should do it, because if it came to New York, it's going to come to the rest of the world. So I need to do it before someone else does it. So that's what inspired me.
Oh, thank you. That's interesting. And I know you have 3 stores in Ecuador and that you open through the years. And I want to say is that if you have any mistakes creating one of your stores, you or we can learn about it because when you're going to open another coffee shop, you will not make the same mistake twice. I mean,
Okay,
it's like
so
somewhere we learn from mistakes.
there's a few mistakes throughout the years, and even with the last shop that I opened in February, there was a mistake. There was a huge mistake that I will never commit again. But okay, one of the earlier mistakes was to be understaffed. So because I was scared of how much money I was going to make, I didn't hire enough people. So I myself was collapsed with work. So I think it was a mistake to try and take it on everything on by myself, right? I was like, I'm going to make the coffee. I'm going to make the acai bowls because no one can make them like I can make them. And I'm going to make, I'm going to serve customers because no one serves like I serve. And I'm going to do it till, because people are making mistakes and I'm losing money because they're not charging things. So that sort of mindset that I had of I do everything by myself was detrimental, because at the end of the day, I was exhausted. Like I didn't have a voice. And this happens to me in every time I open a coffee shop, because I talk so much, I don't have a voice at the end of the day. So I would come home and I would be like, it was just really bad. So that would be one of the things. So try and delegate, try and hire people who you trust or who you can learn to trust. Not try to make everything yourself. So that was with the first shop. With the second shop, I think a big mistake that I did was not be there as much, because I already had a system running. Everything was processed. So everything already, had a way to be made. So recipes were standardized, procedures were standardized. I knew what things to buy, what to put. So I didn't feel in that moment that I had to be at that shop as much as I was at the first one, where I was there all day, like 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. every single day. And I feel like that caused my staff to not appreciate me in the same way, because they were like, she just opens whatever and she leaves, right? She doesn't care. Whereas my staff from Sambo is incredibly loyal to me, because they've seen me clean bathrooms, wash floors, clean the dishes, serve people, pick up, right? So it's very different for them to have seen me through 4 years of serving, treating customers, doing everything. Whereas the other ones, I was like, hi, how's everything going? Going in the kitchen. I'm like, oh, that's good. Good job. And leave. So I think that was another mistake, not trying to be there more, just make a presence, make sure that the team was strong before I was like, okay, I'm going to go now. I'm going to go to the other shop where I'm going to do whatever I was going to do. And then the third mistake that I made in Quito, and the Cumbaya one that I just opened in February, was that I didn't check the electricity in the shop. So we signed the contracts, we did everything, and I didn't check the plumbing with an external person or the electricity. And what happened was that when we started building, we realized that the whole plumbing of the whole place was damaged. So that for me was an additional $30,000 that I had to put in to fix something that was not easy to fix, right? So that was very, very bad, very, very huge mistake to make, not having someone check that everything is working, that the water is flowing, that you can, you have outlets, that the power that you're going to use, say for a coffee shop, because you have a machine that consumes a lot of energy and different type of energy. So not 110 that you're used to. So say you plug in your house en el enchufe, you know, I don't even know how to say enchufe. How do you say enchufe? Plug in the wall. How do you say enchufe? A ver, tell me how you say enchufe. Who knows? The plug in the wall?
I would say like that, yeah.
The plug, yes.
The electrical outlet. That's it, in the outlet. Okay, so the outlets in your houses are all 110, right? That's like everything you use. But usually for big machines, you use another type of energy. So for a coffee shop, you have a bunch of things that use 220 energy, like ovens for your bread. You have the espresso machine and different things. So what that means is that if the light leaves, right? Si se va la luz, like if you don't have any power because there's a storm or something, you're gonna need a generator, and that generator needs to be able to provide electricity to every single thing you have in the shop. So I didn't check that, and what happened is se fue la luz, and we didn't have power in the shops because the generator couldn't feed all our electrical lines. So that means for me is if there's no light, I can't sell anything, and I lose an entire day of profit and of even sales. So yeah, that was a huge mistake.
Thank you so much, Andrea. You already answered all of my questions. So yeah, thank you so much. I'll leave you with my
Welcome.
partner, Patrick.
Hi, Andrea. I'm Patrick.
Hey.
What was the hardest part during the pandemic that your business went through?
I would say the hardest part was obviously not having customers because no one could come right to the shop because things were closed. That in the first couple of months, having to close one of the shops. I closed Savos for 2 months, like completely closed, not open at all. And that was very hard because I obviously had to pay people, right? You still had to pay staff, even if you weren't making any money. Well, at least the decent people did it. So I was still having to pay them, and I didn't have any income. So it was difficult because I had to come up with a new way of making money without selling food or coffee. So that meant I had to get very creative, and I started an online business. I started selling online courses to people who already followed Sailor Coffee, but who followed me because of the aesthetics of the Instagram. So if you have seen our Instagram, it's a bunch of beautiful photos, nice content that makes you want to go. So I was like, okay, what's something that I can sell that is not food or coffee that people who follow my account will be willing to pay for? And so I gave my first course that was how to take photos for your own business. So this was catered to entrepreneurs who are also struggling in the pandemic. And that's how I made all the money to pay for rent and to pay all my staff without having to fire my staff. So that was a crisis turned into an opportunity. So that was very difficult, but we came out stronger.
Oh, I see. Now I live with you with my partner, Josue.
Okay.
Josue, you there?
Hi, Andrea. This is my question. What did you learn during the pandemic experience?
Sorry, what did you say?
Yeah, he
I
has
think
a
someone
bit.
was talking
Yeah,
in
he
the
has
back.
to know. Go ahead. Go ahead.
What did you learn during the pandemic experience?
I learned that you shouldn't rely only on having physical customers into a store. You should always have a list of emails that you can send people so that when something like this happens, you can sell directly. And also very important to have an e-commerce, to have a website that allows you to sell. If I didn't have a website in the pandemic, we would have had to close the shop because there was no way of making money, right? So through the website, I would put something up, a link, and people would be able to enter their billing information so that I could give them a factura, an invoice, and they could pay with credit card, debit card, or bank transfer. So that for me was a complete game changer, now that we speak about game changers, because it allowed me to charge people. And a lot of other businesses in the food industry didn't have that. So they couldn't charge anyone anything unless it was through bank transfer. And just so that you know, the easier it is for a customer to acquire something, the less resistance there is, the more they would buy. So if I have to message the person on Instagram or the business, tell them what I want, ask them for photos, ask them what the bank transfer is, and then have to make the bank transfer and then have to send them again a confirmation, people will not buy because it's like, oh, this is too much work. If you give them an option where they can see exactly what I want, add to cart, and in 3 or 4 clicks buy something, it is way easier for you to sell a product. So yeah, that was good for me that I had that I was able to use it and exploit it.
Oh, this is experiences is not common.
Sorry,
This is experiences is not common.
this is an experience.
Say, yes.
Say that again. It wasn't clear.
I don't understand the question. Sorry.
Yeah. Also, repeat it, please.
Repeat. This is experiences is that good or experiences is not common?
No, that question is not correct. Also, can you go?
Yeah,
with
let's
the next one?
restructure the question or restructure it. What do you mean about this? Like, what are you trying to ask me? If it was a good experience, if it was a bad experience, what?
Exactly. This is good or bad experiences.
Okay, I in the pandemic or this particular experience about me having to sell online.
In the pandemic.
In the pandemic, I had
Yes.
bad experiences, for example, with customers because they didn't know how to use the internet. So for you, it might be weird because you've grown up with the internet, but for someone who's 50 years old, they don't know how to shop online, right? So it was difficult for them to be like, how do I shop? How do I do this? So I had to actually have a little assistance on the website that says, do you need help? And you would click on that and it would contact you directly to me. And I would say, you know, they would be like, I don't know how to shop. And I would have to explain to, okay, whatever you want, add it to cart, do this, do that, enter your information and then pay. So that was a negative experience that turned into a positive one because it was people not being able to do something and then me teaching them so that they could then pay and give me money to my business.
Thank you so much, Andrea.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Naomi, you're next.
Yeah. Well, hi, I am Naomi. It's very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Well, do you have trouble creating your online marketing?
Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Do you have trouble creating your online marketing?
No, I can't understand the question. Do you want to write it down?
Did you have any trouble creating all of your online marketing?
Oh, okay. Sorry, I couldn't hear you. There was like sound.
Yeah.
Did I have trouble creating my online business? I think the only trouble was that I just mentioned to Josué, like how some people didn't know how to buy online. That was difficult. And also, we live in a country that has a very low trust threshold, okay? So people don't trust other people because they always feel like people are trying to steal from them, right? And that's because we live in an unsafe country. So it's the same thing that happens if you have to put your credit card information on a website that you don't know, that makes you feel like, oh, someone's going to steal my information. They're going to steal my credit card information and they're going to do other purchases. I don't want to do it. So that was a difficulty in Ecuador, trying to let people know that it was safe, that I wasn't going to steal their information, that their data was protected. So a way to do that is adding it on your website. You know, this is protected. Another way to do it is instead of using a payment gateway like PayPal, for example, where you click pay and it opens a new tab and then you go somewhere else to pay. If you keep everything within the same website, web page, people feel more trust. This is just natural. They don't think about that. But this is what I studied that happened. So I tried to do that so that people wouldn't feel like I was going to steal their credit card information, that I was going to a different website or have, doubts about that. So that was difficult, but now people are very calm and safe using either of my websites.
Oh, I see. I thank you.
You're welcome.
So now to end this interview, we want to thank you for giving us some of your time. And it has been a pleasure meeting you, and we hope you enjoyed our interview. So
I
yeah,
loved it. Thank you.
thank you so much.
Bye, Andrea.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye, guys. You're welcome.
So before we say
Yeah,
goodbye,
thank
can we
you.
make a picture?
Yeah.
So just look straight to the
Okay.
camera and big smile, okay?
Okay.
Here we go.
Nice.
3, 2. Elisa, you're not looking straight to the camera. So can you look to the camera so that you? No, you're seeing the screen. But anyway. 3, 2, 1. Josue, big smile.
Andrea, please still.
I'm still
Josue.
here.
No, we're done with the interview. I think he's just a bit nervous. Okay. Thank you so much, Andrea. We've
You're
enjoyed
welcome.
this a lot, and good luck on everything you start. And we really do believe that you're a game changer.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Take care. Bye. It was great.
Bye
to have you.
bye.
Bye, Andrea.
Bye.
See you.
Bye,
Thank
Andrea.
you. Bye bye.
Yeah.